Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second episode of Explore, the program organized by Paradise Court Lagos. My name is Adegite Adedoyi, and with me in the studio is.
My name is Engineer Godwin. It's a good time to discuss with us, and I hope we're going to learn something very important here.
And today we're going to be discussing about factors that drive real estate markets in Nigeria. Engineer, can you tell us two factors that drive the real estate industry?
You know, one of the things I want to talk about that drives the real estate market is the fact that demography is one of the things. If you look at the real estate market, the real estate market is majorly driven by kind of population. Uh, if you check some times ago, some particular areas were being dominated by different people. And at the long run, some people felt, okay, let's just move to a certain place. And that was the shift. If you check the history of the Lekki environment, the Lekki corridor, you'll discover that it was majorly the people that were at a Butemeta that actually migrated to the old Morocco that became the Lekki, and so on and so forth. So a whole lot of people um, move from one location to the other,
Exactly.
and that is why Ibejuleki is even the major hit at the moment, because a lot of people are also migrating away from the Lekki down to Ibejuleki, and that is how population keeps improving the real estate market. And the second thing I want to talk about is the economy. Economy in the sense that the real estate market is being impacted once there is a high level of increase in our GDP, employment data, manufacturing establishments, government presence, and a whole lot of this can also increase the level of the economy of the country and even the real estate system. So if you look at what is happening at Ibejuleki currently, you have the Dangote refinery, you have the Lekki Deep Sea Port, you have the Free Trade Zone, you have the international airport, you have so many things that are moving towards this side. So you discover that a lot of people are now migrating to this environment. So what happens now is that the real estate market will start having a gross profit, because this is what people want to get. This is what is bringing new development. You understand? So these are some of the things that drives the real estate market. I'll just stop with those two. Then we'll continue with.
Engineer, actually, a lot has been said. How do you think for a first timer, I don't know anything about real estate and I'm actually trying to consider investing into real estate? How do I go about it?
Okay. To our viewers out there who might be watching this video, one thing I need you to know is that no novice is permitted to go into real estate without having a consultant. So you need to have a consultant,
Okay.
somebody that will tell you the in and out of real estate, because I have seen people who ventured into real estate without seeking the necessary guidelines to invest in real estate, and they got their money burnt. So a whole lot has happened in the real estate sector. But you need to have a consultant. Let someone guide you through the process of land acquisition, or what kind of real estate property acquisition, or whatever acquisition you want to go into. Because these are professionals in the field. But when you want to thrive in this sector, you look out for places where there are lots of investment opportunities, where you have government presence, you have things that can
And that's what most
drive
people
things.
look,
Yes,
look out for.
that's it.
Yeah.
So when you look at all these things, you are good to go. Somebody cannot tell me I want to invest in Badagry, and I will tell the person go and invest in Badagry. What is the major thing that is happening in Badagry aside from the seaside view and all that? But if you are telling me you want to invest in Ibejuleki, I will gladly tell you, my friend, go.
Yeah,
Because
a lot is
in the
happening
next
there.
future, before you know it, you are already seeing your money replicating itself. You understand? So it's a whole lot for us.
How does inflation affect real estate?
Inflation affects real estate. Wow. Um, for me, I think how this happens is when there is an increase in a particular thing, it really affects. It's not even real estate alone. It affects
sector.
the whole sector.
Yeah.
For example, now we have issues with the subsidy rate, which has been removed. So people already they feel okay. Oh, subsidy has been removed. So will this be able to affect real estate? Yes, positively it will. Negatively it will, because when you look at the positive aspects, people who have um, residential areas or residential properties close to your place of work, won't you be thinking of getting those residential areas?
Mm-hmm.
Because one, it will save you a whole lot of cost.
Yeah,
Now, for
like
example,
before thing.
schools around. If you are taking your child, probably you are living in my own environment, and your child schools all the way in Aja. What do you think that would do?
You think of
You will be thinking of bringing that child away, all the way from
exactly.
Aja down to where you are staying. Look for the neighboring school within that environment. So one, it will increase real estate, because by the time somebody is buying property, he is buying property to build a school that will solve the immediate problem of that community. Do we understand? So
Yeah.
that's how it influences real estate. In the other side, it can also add negative vibes to that same real estate, because one, development will be on one particular location. So it's not going to be expanding the way it should be expanding. So it will just be within a particular location. Probably if somebody is living within this circumference, and you have a school here, you have the hospital here, you have every other mechanism, every other government institution here, and the neighboring community doesn't have such facility. So that trend of the real estate will keep developing within that circle, while
It's
the other
just there.
neighborhood is just going through stress.
So, engineer, what would you suggest in a situation where you your work is actually on an environment where there's the rental this thing is extremely high? What would you prefer one do? Is it that you get is it for you to get an
An
apartment
apartment,
close to your office and pay more for rent, or you move close to areas where you can get
cheaper
cheaper
houses.
yeah, and spend more on transport?
Well, logically, if you're looking at what will actually help you to sustain yourself, I will advise, health-wise, have you considered the stress that this thing will put you through?
Mm-hmm.
So, if I am living in a place where I pay 100,000 naira for my rent,
Yeah,
and I'm burning more than 100,000 naira
for four.
for fuel and transportation, that will not make sense. So I would prefer paying that cost within the said location where I am actually having my office space, and then reduce my stress. That will reduce my stress. That will even reduce the cost of transporting myself here and there. You understand? So basically, I will advise, because a whole lot of people don't know how to manage their stress. They don't know how to manage themselves. So by the time you are collecting your salary at the end of the month, you're already treating malaria, you're treating a whole lot of sickness. So it's very important you know these things. So if I am in any of these shoes,
Yeah.
what I will do is to get an apartment that is close to my house or to my place of work. Because looking at that, one of the things that it will help you do, it will help you concentrate in what you're doing.
Yeah.
You don't need to come to
You
your
don't have to leave
office
the house around
like you
4 in
are
the
you are you
morning.
are hurrying to work. You want to beat traffic. You want all that. So it's going to really manage a whole lot of things for you.
Okay, this is more like same question but in another form.
Yes.
What would you advise someone that owns his own house in somewhere like Korodu and is working and has an office around Lekki? What would you advise? Would you advise the person to still move to these close to the work because there he's not paying for apartment, you know?
Yes, like that's interesting. Well, that's very logical, because you are not paying for an apartment, so
Yeah.
definitely you are going to be paying for transportation.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you are paying for an apartment and you are paying for transportation, it doesn't make sense. So, if you are paying for transportation alone,
Alone.
probably it's I will even put it this way: what I would have done as a person is to get a vehicle.
Okay.
You understand? I will get a vehicle for myself, and while I'm coming to work, I'll pick passengers,
Wow.
and they pay for my fuel while I
Wow.
drop them.
Okay.
So
How do you know the real consultant?
yes,
Like,
the real consultants have been schooled in the real estate sector. So they've attended several trainings. So they know what it feels
Certain
to
things.
consult. And by that, you will be able to get value for what you are investing into. You understand? So, with this, we need to introduce Paradise Sports Gateway to us. Paradise Sports Gateway is owned and run by Paradise Sports Lagos. And Paradise Sports Gateway is going to be providing an eco-friendly environment where you are going to be having the feel of nature. You're going to be having the feel of nature. You're going to be living in serenity, in comfort, and in maximum security. So there is a whole lot you're going to be enjoying from Paradise Court Kitchen. Paradise Court Kitchen is going to be providing you with one of the most luxurious lifestyle that you have ever dreamed to have. Because in Paradise Court Kitchen, we are even looking at having a zoo. Have you thought of having a zoo in an estate? And people will be like, how will you have a zoo in your estate? And
It's actually strange.
it's strange. So we know a lot of people want to have sightseeing, and when you have a zoo in that estate, it helps you to even have kind of sightseeing where we have a whole nature of green life. You have solar panels, so we are not even depending on the Nigerian electricity sector.
Wow.
So we're looking at killing off anything that has to do with electricity from Nigeria entering our estate. So we have a whole lot that we want to achieve. We want to come up with an environment that is noiseless, that is serene, that is friendly. And Paradise Court Kitwekwe is actually that estate you need to live in, because I am very sure you know what to do after now. So I look forward to seeing you guys very soon.
Okay, so lastly, before we go, do you mean with 100K I can get a plot in Paradise Court?
100K for a plot in Paradise Court. Well, there is nothing that is not possible, but our initial deposit is 300K. So by the time you do an initial deposit of 300K, you are entitled. We have payment structures that you can also key into. We have for 3 months, we have for 6 months, and we have for 12 months. So you can pick any of the payment structure, and before you know it, you are up. And Paradise Court is coming with a CO, which is very important for anyone who is venturing into acquiring real estate. So, because your land title is very important, so that's what we are providing in Paradise Court.
All right. So thank you so much, engineer, for joining us on the show this afternoon. We really appreciate your presence, and thank you for shedding light to certain things that a lot of people are confused about. So, and it's on this note we bring an end to today's episode of Explore. You can send your questions to our website too.